Hi YouTube, this is going to be a quick video here. Title of this video is going to be on surviving life in this high inflation, low income, no income, hard to get a job, hard to keep a job type of economy that we're in, with everything being super high. This is just some tips on how you can survive in this type of environment. One of the things I see a lot on a lot of a lot of these YouTube videos and on a lot of the literature that I read concerning finance and stuff like that is this idea that people are not able to maintain a quality standard of living. Um, One of those main issues had to revolve around um, housing affordability, whether that be rent or your mortgage. Um, we see constant news reports around all the time about people being unable to pay that rent, or if they can afford it now, once the rent go up when the lease ends, you can't pay it at that point, or people that's unable to um, pay their mortgage, or a more serious issue of people that don't have a place to stay at all, but they have a job, they need the rent, but they can't. Um, there is a certain thing known as the working homeless that's out there, where you have people that's working full time, but because of bad credit or no money for a down payment, they can't afford for a place to stay. So a lot of times you see people sleeping in their cars and um, sleeping in office buildings at their job and stuff like that. That is actually a thing. And if anybody was interested in that topic, let me know in the comments, and I'll do more um, videos on that stuff in particular. Um, as a side note, I wanted to mention I'm currently a PhD student in public policy in New England, and so um, I'm currently doing research, my dissertation on homelessness. So this is actually a topic that I care deeply about. So if anybody wanted to post any more videos, or if anybody want to have any discussions on that, just put something in the comment, and we'll try to connect in a way so that way we can converse back and forth privately, or we could do it on this platform on a live or something like that. But it's definitely something that's been coming up a lot more in recent years, particularly post-pandemic. Um, so the first thing I wanted to mention in regard to surviving life in this new reality that we're all living in is to play to your strengths and try to find ways to monetize them. For those of you that have a skill or something that you can do, that you can make fast money with, maybe if it's something that don't require any type of uh, degree or specialization, or even if it does require that and you already have those credentials, and you're able to go make some money on the side with that. For example, some people, uh, they're CPAs, so they know how to do people's taxes. Well, if you could charge somebody to do the taxes, that they may not be able to get out to like an H&R Block. They may not have the money to go to H&R Block. But if you're willing to provide that service for a little bit of a discount, that would be a way for you to earn some income on the side while catering to, a demographic of people that otherwise wouldn't be able to get it. If you can cut grass, if you can shovel snow, if you're any type of handyman around the house, everybody don't have an electrician that they can call that they know. Everybody don't have that plumber. Um, Everybody don't have that carpenter, but everybody got work they got to get done in their house. And so if you're able to do that for somebody and you give them a good price, be a good way to get an income. Um, Speaking to that as well, I wanted to mention that everybody, there's a common presumption out there that everybody could pay top dollar for every single thing. And it's like, well, that's not the case. Um, Even in my line of work, in human service, social work, I've seen that a lot of times people, really need help, but they're not able to afford it. And so, in a time like this, in this type of economy, it's a great way to earn income from people who can't, who need help but can't otherwise pay for it. So if you got that skill and you're willing to give a reasonable price for something, it's a great way to earn income and earn a lot of money from it. The next thing is to anticipate some problems before they come. So even in your personal life, if you got stuff going on that it's going to be a problem down the line, so you're like, hey, I know I got to do this thing, or this situation might go bad. Try to find ways to mitigate it. A lot of times, um, in my private practice, we see people that knew about situations that's coming up that they don't deal with on their own. They're not proactive in dealing with it. They just ignore it. you get letters in the mail for various reasons, and you don't do anything to kind of circumvent it. So, and then it just gets bigger. You turn a small problem into a big problem. So, I don't think that's something that's sustainable in this type of economy. A lot of people don't even have $1,000 in their savings account to cover any type of emergency. So it's like if you can prevent something like that from occurring, it might be a better way. You might come out a little bit cheaper in that regard. The next part I want to talk about was creating solutions for those particular problems. Maybe if it's something financial, you can work on a payment plan. If it's a paperwork deadline or whatever, maybe you can find a resource out there that'll help you be able to deal with that, depending on whatever it may be. But you got to be proactive. You got to face your fears, face your problems. Don't sweep them under the rug. Don't let them go to the wayside. Confront them head on. Deal with them, and see what you could do. There's always a solution. There's always a way out to whatever you might think is going on that is unattainable, or whatever you think is going on that can't be done. There's always a way out. And if anybody want to throw out any type of examples of things that they may be going through, or they know people that may be going through, definitely put that in the comments, and I will definitely make videos on ways to deal with those types of situations as well. The third thing I wanted to put out there in regard to surviving life in this economy is you got to be able to save some type of money. Now, I know that's a very difficult thing to do. Trust me, I know. Okay, I'm not making no qualms about it. I'm not acting like you should be able to do this big amount, because I know it's virtually impossible. Most people are paycheck to paycheck right now, which means that you are relying on your next paycheck to keep yourself afloat. You may be able to pay all your bills on time. Your bills may be paid in full on time, but it's taking that whole paycheck. You need that next paycheck. That's paycheck to paycheck. And a lot of people are in that situation. What I would tell people, though, is that you need to be able to save at least 10% of your take-home pay. Take-home pay, which is what your direct deposit is. That's your take-home pay. Or what your actual check is that you got to go cash. That's your take-home pay. You got to be able to save at least 10% of that to put aside for emergencies that might come up. Seriously, I know it's a difficult thing. I know it's something that people can't afford to do. I've struggled with that in the past, in my younger years myself, especially in my 20s. I definitely struggled with that. But it's something that you definitely need to do, because if something comes up, a flat tire, a broken window, your car breakdown, you need to get a roof, anything, whatever. Your hours get cut back at work. If your salary gets reduced, anything like that, and you still got to survive in this economy that we're in right now, and you're already paycheck to paycheck, and you don't have a little nest egg there, that's an example of not anticipating a problem and making a bad problem worse. So 10%. For anybody that might be watching this video that don't know what 10% of whatever you make is, basically, it's $100 for every $1,000 that you make. So if your check is $100, okay. I'm sorry. If your check is $1,000, if you save 10% of that when you get paid, you'll be saving $100. If your check is $700, 10% of that is $70. If your check is $500, you'll be saving $50. Basically, take a zero off of your check, and that'll give you the 10%. Or for whatever it is. If your check is $2,000 every 2 weeks, $200 you should be saving every 2 weeks. And I know the convention is to say, like, okay, well, what's $100? What's 200? What's 70? That's not going to do that, and I get that. But the idea is that over time, it'll build up, and provided you don't have any emergencies or any situations that require you to use it, you will end up, saving up a nice little stockpile of cash for yourself, which would be very good. I mean, if your check's $1,000 and you're saving 10%, that's $100. Well, if you do that for 10 paychecks, you're gonna have $1,000. So it's like the 10 paychecks is only 5 months worth of income. So again, it would definitely come in handy. It's better to have $1,000 than to not have $1,000 when you need it. Also, if it's in cash, it'll help you not get into any type of credit card debt or nothing like that. So it'll also help you feel like you're not going paycheck to paycheck. If anybody will want more information on that part in particular, let me know in the comments. I will make more videos about that. The next thing is, this is kind of coinciding with saving the 10%. It's better to have cash on hand than it is to have money in the bank. Reason being is that, as you know, there's like a lot of scams going on right now. Um, the Cash App scams, the Venmos, the PayPals, all those type of scammers going on right now. Accounts are being hacked by a lot across the country. It's something that's been happening more and more since the pandemic. So I would recommend that you know most of your personal money, your savings that you're trying to save up, you keep that on cash. This way, you have easy access to it. If it's going to take you a while to get to a certain number, different bank accounts have different minimum balances and stuff like that. And you don't want to fall victim to those monthly maintenance fees for various things. Like, for example, Bank of America, they want you to have at least $300 in your savings account. And if you go below $300 and don't have $300, they charge you $8. So then whatever money you did put in there is going to be reduced because you're not going to have enough. So definitely try to keep some cash on hand for those quick emergencies that you'll have quick access to it, and you won't lose what you've already tried to build up to maintenance fees or to any other type of fees. Um, the next is to try to maintain a continual supply of supplies, whatever that might be. Food, cereal, whatever. The price of food and stuff is going up tremendously over the past couple of months, even. And so, if you've got like a deep freezer or something like that, or you're able to pick up a little bit of extra uh, food or whatever like that on the side, it might be a good idea to do that. This way, when prices go up, you're not as affected by it. Even the price of eggs and milk has went up tremendously, and so you don't want to be in need of those items. And maybe depending on your financial situation, you may not be able to afford it. If the prices and stuff keep going up, or you may have noticed already that you've had to cut back on what you're able to buy, even your essentials, um, due to the inflation. So, it's always a good idea to try to get stuff a little bit earlier if you can, and have extra on hand. It's always better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Um, the last is you want to put yourself in a situation where you're able to thrive regardless of who's in office. I made a video earlier today on the first presidential debate, and a lot of people are saying, oh, if the Democrats get in, it'll be like this. If the Republicans get in, it'll be like that. You want to set yourself up so that way, no matter who's in office, you are thriving, you're surviving, you're doing well. One way is to make sure you have a job if you don't have one. I'm gonna argue any type of job. I know there's like the debate over the minimum wage or what your salary should be. How much is a lot of money? They used to say 60K a year was a good income. Now they're saying it's 100. Now they say it's 125. What I'm telling you is that any income that you have is going to be good. An income is better than no income. You're going to have that job regardless of who's in office, and you need to have that. I wouldn't wait on any particular party to come try to save you, because that's not going to happen. Unfortunately, you got to be able to save yourself. So I'm going to recommend that you, number one, have your own job. Number two, have money in savings. Number three, have extra supplies. Number four, look at your abilities and what you can do that don't require somebody else, which is what I was talking about at first. If you're able to do some kind of freelance work, or you're able to do something that can generate you stable income, that can get you through a rough patch, I would definitely recommend that you put your time and energy into that. You don't want to be caught in a situation where you're relying on someone else to give you a job. And if, in particular in that, there's a lot of videos going around about that as well, about people applying to 5,000 jobs, 10,000 jobs, and not getting no callbacks, and they're out of work. You don't want to be in that situation. You want to be able to be self-reliant and use what you got for yourself to get yourself where you want to go. Okay? So that's all I got for this video. As I said, this is going to be a short one. I will see you on the next one. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.